You just know the video is gonna be a banger when I brought back the intro song. Yo, what is up? And welcome to another Wild Rift video. And AD Twitch. I was waiting with this video. I didn't instantly make it because I really wanted to truly understand how to play this champion. I've seen a lot of people say, AD Twitch doesn't work. AD Twitch is trash. This is trash. This is bad. Blah, blah, blah. He has no damage. My answer to that is Twitch is definitely like a high A tier ADC. He is okay. Like, he's definitely better than Misfortune, than Jin, you know, than all these stupid ADCs. He's playable, but you really have to know how to play him. Like, this is not an ordinary ADC. I'll tell you all about it during the gameplay. First, I'm going to explain to you guys how to build him. There are basically, I have like 3 builds for him. This is the normal build. The standard ADC build. You start off with a Stormrazor, then you go for the Infinity Edge. For the boots, you can go for Boots of Swiftness or Glutinous Greaves. Boots of Swiftness are gonna be better late, like, how can I say this? Boots of Swiftness are gonna be better to ambush the enemy, because of course it gives you swiftness. And Glutinous Greaves are gonna be better to sustain the enemy. So if you just want to kind of like ambush the enemies all the time, then Boots of Speed are gonna, or Boots of Fear are gonna be better. But if you want to team fight a lot, then Glutinous Greaves are likely gonna be better. And this reason that Glutinous Greaves are really good on Twitch is because it works with true damage as well. It gives you Omnivamp. So the true damage from your passive, you're gonna be getting healed up from as well. Third item is always gonna be a Rune on Shuriken. This is where the fun begins. This is essentially where you'll start to get strong. 4 items is where you'll shred the enemy. Like, the reason that you really need 4 items though is because the Lord Dominic's Regard is gonna give you the armor penetration. Because with 3 items, you're gonna destroy their squishies. You're gonna destroy them. But with 4 items, you're gonna do decent damage to the tanks as well. My camera is lagging. That's because I'm still on the laptop, but I hope you don't mind too much. But yeah, that's the weakness I would say about AD Twitch, or about Twitch in general. You really need items. Like, you know, 3-4 items, that's when your power starts to come online. And then 5 items, of course, you're going to be very strong. For your enchantment, Stasis is okay. But honestly, I prefer Quicksilver because the thing with Twitch is, I'll explain to you the whole playstyle during the gameplay, of course. You want to ambush the enemies and like, you want to keep going. You don't want to get stopped. So if the enemies wants to CC you during your ambush, you know, when you use your ultimate and everything like that, you don't want to get stunned. You want to keep on going. So QSS is likely going to be the best. However, Stasis is of course always just gonna be good. Let me see, any situational items you could possibly go for? No, you don't want to go Solari, you don't want to go Navori, all of these you don't want to go. You don't want to go Rapid Fire Cannon because your ultimate is already an internal Rapid Fire Cannon. Blade of the Rune King is playable. This is my second build. Basically, you can start off with a Blade of the Rune King. If you're really up against a lot of tanks, and you know Stormrazor is not going to help you as much, because the whole point of going Stormrazor is to slow enemies and just do a little bit of burst damage after you use your first ability, you know, the invisibility. It's really good. It's really good for ganking, really good for initiating team fights. It's just really good. And of course, it gives you crit as well. Essentially, Stormrazor is all about bursting squishies. But if you're up against like 3 or 4 tanks, and if the enemy has a Garen, Vi, and Alistar support, then it's actually going to be better to start off with a Blade of the Rune King and then go for the exact same build. Infinity Edge, Rune's Hurricane, Lord Dominic's Regard, and then etc, you know. But yeah, likely you're going to go for Stormrazor though, because even in the tank meta, Stormrazor is going to be better, likely. Because if they only have 2 tanks, it's still better to go Stormrazor. But if it goes to 3 tanks and more, then you go for the Blade of the Rune King. For the runes, you go for Lethal Tempo. It's really good to go Lethal Tempo because you already have a lot of attack speed. And with this one, you basically become a machine gun. Like, you'll become a machine gun. All you really need to do is just get your passive on one enemy, and then you're going to become a machine gun. And with Rune on Hurricane, it's ridiculous how fast you're going to shoot. Here you go for Hunt of Vampirism. Twitch mainly does attack damage if you play AD Twitch. Even if you play AP Twitch, you're actually not going to do magic damage. You're only going to do attack damage and true damage. The only magic damage you're going to do with AP Twitch, by the way, is the on-hit damage from the Nashor's Tooth. I'm quickly going to show you the AP Twitch build. It goes Nashor's Tooth, Rabadon's Death Cap, and then you can either go for a Runon's Hurricane or a Leandri's Torment. And then you go for the Rift Maker. This is going to be the AP Twitch build. This build is, I mean, like, this is not really gonna work unless you have a Yuumi or maybe like a Sona or something, but like, this is never gonna work if you don't have an enchantment. I mean, okay, of course everything can work, but I never suggest you to go for this. It's trash unless you have a free lane with a good enchanter. like as I said, like a Yumi or a Sona or something. Like in the late game, you're gonna destroy the enemies with this build with a good enchanter. Only with a good enchanter. Yumi preferred. So yeah, basically don't go for this build, but that's the only playable thing. And the runes you go for is Lethal Tempo, Gathering Storm to get AP in the late game, and then whatever. But yeah, we're talking about the AD Twitch build. Yeah, so you go for Hunter Vampirism here. Here it's situational. Nullifying Orb is okay. Nullifying Orb, I like this one quite a lot, just to give you this shield. Hunter Titan can be good if you're against a lot of CC, because this one skills very well into the late game. But yeah, it's just whatever you want. If you have a rough early game against like a Thresh or something, you can also go for Bone Plating to survive the early game a little bit more easily. Here I like to go for Sweet Tooth. I actually tried going for Pathfinder. I've never seen anyone play Pathfinder Twitch. I tried it because... you'll see during the gameplay why I tried it, because as a Twitch, even though you play Dragon Lane, you can actually gank. You can actually gank quite a lot. You know, you can gank bot lane, gank jungle, gank mid lane because of your first ability, which makes you camouflaged. So I tried Pathfinder, and it's not bad. It's not bad. But I wouldn't say it's worth it. I wouldn't say it's worth over the Sweet Tooth, for example, because again, you will struggle in the early game, and Sweet Tooth really gives you that little bit of boost in the early game to survive the early game a little bit more easily. For the spells, you go for Exhaust and Flash. So that is it about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay, baby. First of all, skin giveaway. I'm giving away 3 skins this month. All you have to do to enter is put down a comment under this video. Secondly, look at what I sent in the chat. I gank mid. I gank mid. I do this every game. And let's just say I have like a 50% success rate. Basically what I do, I use my first ability and I gank mid. I gank mid, and with an exhaust, like let's say the enemy mid laner goes to the mid lane, you know, like most mid laners do. Especially low elo, by the way, because in high elo people tend to figure this out, but in low elo especially abuse this. Level 1, use your first ability, gank the enemy mid laner, exhaust them, they're 100% gonna flash. Like if you actually hit them, they're gonna flash. And you can even kill them. Like with an Annie, for example, she can flash stun the enemy mid laner and will kill him, because Annie will have an ignite as well. So like you're either gonna kill the enemy mid laner or you're gonna force a flash, which of course both is good during the first 10 seconds of the game. So do that. Every game you play Twitch, do that little move. And of course when I make this video, people are gonna understand that trick a little bit better. But do it. You can even try it in the Baron lane, but I don't recommend it, because in the Baron lane, you know, if it doesn't work, you have to walk all the way to the Dragon lane and you're gonna lose a minion or 2. Not worth it. But mid lane, you can gank, and even if you don't get anything out of it, you simply just walk to your lane and get every single minion anyways. You just have like a 50% chance to burn the enemy flash or even get a kill. That's the whole thing. So besides that, you want to chill in lane. As you can see, I'm chilling because you really don't do anything early game. Really don't do anything. Like early game Twitch is simply just chilling under your turret. Your damage is just non-existent. You can use your second ability to slow the enemy perhaps, because when you slow the enemy, your support could catch the enemy, because the slow is actually quite a heavy slow. So the only thing you can really do in the early game, besides ganking, you know, because your first ability allows you to gank pretty well, is just throw your second ability on the enemies, not necessarily for the damage, but just to slow them. Just to slow them so your support can do something, you know. I exhausted him here. You know why I exhausted him? Because he went under my turret. He hit me under my turret, so I decided to exhaust him under the turret so he would take a turret shot. I tried to somewhat kill him, but it didn't work, as you can see. Yeah, I have to flash now. Yeah, he flashed, so this is fine. This is fine. The reason that I did that initial move is because I wanted to get him low so he wouldn't apply pressure on me. Because Keys, which is my support, the Senna, he decided to rotate, so I took my chances to waste my exhaust just to get the Caitlyn to a low amount of HP. That was my thought process right there. By the way, guys, make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed. I played quite a lot of games of Twitch before making this video, of course, to give you guys the quality video. This is not the ideal YouTube strategy, because of course I will get a lot of views if I make a Twitch gameplay on the same day, and that's the general strategy of a YouTuber. But my approach, like I always tell you guys, is quality above quick views. Even though I'm gonna get, less views, the quality of the video is gonna be better, and maybe in the future it's gonna perform better. But basically, I'm gonna give better quality. So I'm actually gonna teach you properly how to play this champion, because I got pretty good at Twitch. I actually got really good at AD Twitch, but I'm still giga trash at AP Twitch. I tried AP Twitch like 3 times, and all 3 times I was trash. Not every game was my fault though that we lost, but like I just didn't hard carry the game like I normally do, you know, so it just didn't really work too well, unfortunately. But I'll figure it out. I'll bring you guys an, you know, an AP Twitch gameplay, unless it's like so unbelievably bad that I just can't make it work. Because remember, like, of course AP Twitch will work with a Yumi, because Yumi boosts your stats, but without a Yumi, it's just not really gonna work, except like if you have like a really good Sona by your side or something. Oh, look at what I'm doing here. Now this is the next thing that I like to do with Twitch. This. Look at what I'm doing. Let's just take a look. He got rooted, but the pink ward is not in the bush. The pink ward was not in the bush. But look at what I did right there. I ambushed the enemy. The first ability is literally called ambush. So it's used to ambush the enemy. Even when you play Twitch in lane, you can actually ambush the enemy. You go behind your turret exactly like I did right here. Make sure the enemies are not within the vision of your first ability. And you can ambush them. You can just basic attack second ability. Basic attack, it's gonna apply full stacks of poison. And then whenever they're, you know, when they run away, you can even use your third ability to do that last bit of burst damage. Be careful of control wards, by the way, because the range of control wards is actually massive. Even if you get remotely close to a control ward while you're camouflaged, you're still gonna be revealed. So don't get close to control wards. And they're actually gonna reveal you for a long duration. They're gonna reveal you for like 3 seconds or so. It's pretty crazy. Look at what I'm doing here. I'm ganking mid lane. Look, it's so simple. Like, look, this is Twitch. This is Twitch. This is a pretty good Aurelia player, but there's no counter to Twitch ganking you like this. Because, you know, it's like Evelyn ganking you, right? Like, there is no counter to it, because you will never see an Evelyn. Of course, the only counter is actually pink ward or the control ward, but the enemies are not always going to have a control ward. So if you go through the mid lane like that, you can get kills so easily like that. Remember, your first ability also gives you a little bit of movement speed, so you're not wasting a lot of time by doing this, because you're getting movement speed, ganking mid lane, you're either going to get a kill or burn the flash, and even if you don't get anything, it's okay. Like, it's okay, because more often than not, you are going to get a kill or you're going to burn a flash. So like, you're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure. Right here, look at what I did. Before I fought, it's a lot of damage. And boom, there we go. So the way that I took this fight, I'm probably gonna die here, but the way that I took this fight, and this is extremely important, let me really explain this to you guys properly, is you really don't wanna ult randomly. 95% of the times you wanna ult like after your ambush, after your first ability, because your ult is gonna shoot through everyone, so your ultimate is gonna apply stacks of poison on everyone, so you wanna apply stacks of poison as fast as possible. After using your first ability, you're gonna be applying 2 stacks per shot. And yes, when you pierce enemies, you're gonna apply 2 stacks on everyone. And to answer that question as well, yes, Runan's Hurricane works with that. So when you have a Runan's Hurricane, you use your first ability, you use your ultimate, you hit 3 enemies with the bolts. All 3 enemies that are shot with all the Runan's Hurricane bolts are gonna get 2 stacks per shot. Really, really important. This is so unbelievably important. Like, look right here. It's so important to get those stacks. You can see, however, I'm really not doing a lot of damage right now, but that is of course because Twitch sucks early game. So like, look right here, I'm probably not gonna ult, because it really doesn't make sense. Like, the ultimate itself is not where your damage comes from. Your damage comes from ambushing the enemies. This is something that so many Twitch players just don't seem to understand. Ambushing the enemies is so important for multiple reasons. First of all, the enemies won't see you coming. Secondly, you're gonna apply 2 stacks, so you're gonna do more true damage. Third of all, and this one is the most important one actually, is you're gonna get your maximum stacks very, very fast. And when you get maximum stacks on an enemy, you get an insane amount of attack speed. That is what it's all about. The attack speed, guys. He can see me, by the way, because of the control ward. But that is what it's all about, guys. The attack speed. Ooh, no. Again, I'm not ulting because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, I'm gonna shoot like a bolt or 2, but it's not gonna do anything. Like, think about it. If you ult without your first ability, it's gonna take 5 basic attacks before you get the bonus attack speed and have max stacks. Like, look now, boom, maximum stacks. You see? Boom, 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 you see that? You see that? This is why you always need to use your first ability before you ult. And basically always use your first ability before you engage. Like, Twitch without his first ability is so unbelievably weak and bad. Never, ever start a fight like that. So then you think about it, right? Like, do you want to engage on the enemy as a Twitch? Or do you want the enemy to engage on you? The simple answer would be, right, like you need to engage on the enemy. Makes sense, because you ambush the enemies, you get more stacks. If the enemy engages on you, it's not good, you know, that's the obvious answer. But let me twist your mind right here. Because the way that I was, you know, I got all those kills in the late game, you will see. The way that I got them is by letting the enemies engage on my team. But Hells, you just told us to ambush the enemies. Yes. In the late game, you play Twitch differently. Early game, ambushing the enemies is really, really good. But late game, ambushing enemies is good still, don't get me wrong. But it's actually likely gonna be better to just stay behind, let the enemies engage, then you ambush them. Think about it like Kha'Zix. You know, when you play Kha'Zix, you want to reset your third ability. So, you know, it's a really good strategy to let the enemies engage on your team and then, you know, you finish them off. Same goes for Twitch. You let the enemies engage, you go in with your first ability and you ult and you go ham on them. Because, okay, so this is the ambush. You see, I'm ambushing them right here. This is really, really good, of course. I ambushed the Caitlyn, it was a free kill. But like, you'll see, it's also viable to let the enemies engage on your team, then you ambush them. Because remember, when you get a kill or an assist, your first ability gets reset. So after that ambush, you can ambush them again. So you don't need to rush. You don't need to rush things with Twitch. Because I see a lot of Twitch players in my teams, you know, they want to go in with the team. And while sometimes that's gonna be viable, it's actually so unbelievably good to just let the enemies go in and then you go. Then you go, because they're not gonna focus you when you do that and you're gonna destroy them. You're just gonna destroy them. You'll see, like you'll see. I'm only talking right now, but you'll see in the later stage of this game. Ooh, I have to be careful here. So yeah, in this particular game I go Boots of Speed because I want to ambush them. I want to do this tactic that I'm talking about with you guys right now. Like, trust me, after you see this gameplay, it's gonna completely change your perspective on Twitch. It's completely gonna change it. Because you're very likely playing him wrong. Unless, you know, you played this champion on PC or you figured it out, you're very likely playing him wrong. I figured all this out by myself, by the way. Normally, I actually like to ask, you know, people that know the champion how to play him. I used to do that back in the days, but recently I've started figuring out everything by myself. And I figured this stuff about Twitch myself as well. I haven't played him on PC or anything like that, so this is all me that I learned this champion during this week, basically, properly. Because first games I was doing horribly, but now I'm seeing a lot of success playing Twitch. Another important thing with Twitch is to power farm. Twitch likes to power farm, so it may be like you may want to gank all the time, because of course Twitch is good at ganking. And yes, there are, you know, there's often decent opportunities to gank, but keep in mind, if you fail ganks over and over again, you're gonna get very behind. And there's nothing worse than being behind as a Twitch. Because when you're behind as a Twitch, you're gonna do 0 damage. Like, even if you do a perfect engage with your ultimate, you're gonna do 0 damage. Because if you don't have 3 items, it's just not gonna work, guys. I could exhaust him. Yeah, there we go. I exhaust him. So even if he flashes away, he's still gonna die. There you go. You see? This right here was just a simple catch. Of course, those cheesy little catches are gonna work very, very well when you play Twitch. Because they just won't see you coming. But keep in mind, those catches only really work if either your team helps you with it, or if the enemy is really, really squishy. If the enemy has armor boots, a catch like that is very likely not gonna work. Like, because when they have armor boots, they're gonna block like half your damage. It's crazy how good these boots are against Twitch. And about the true damage, you should never really rely on it. Like, never, when you play AD Twitch, never take a risk to like reapply the true damage. Just for the sake of doing true damage. It's never worth it, because the true damage is like nothing. It really doesn't do much. Careful. Oof. Yeah, there you can see it. Like, after the ambush, you're gonna be in danger. So like, with Twitch, it's really about all-inning the enemy. When you play AD Twitch, all-inning the enemy is a very, very powerful combination. Not all-inning burst-wise, but like all-inning with your ultimate. You have 6 seconds when you ult. It's not a long time, but like right here, look. This is gonna be a good ult. Unfortunately, I shot the jungle thing that pushed me back. But like, look, I'm doing a lot of damage right there. That was, you know, most of it came from my ultimate earlier. And now I'm gonna try to ambush again. Again, like, I'm trying to ambush here because, look at what I'm doing. I ignored the Nunu in the beginning, thinking that I could possibly kill the Caitlyn. But then, you know, Nunu went in on my team, so I decided to just go on the Nunu. This Nunu is gonna be hard for me to kill, though. Let's just slow him down so he can't catch me. I can get a rune as Hurricane, by the way. I want to go in here with the Annie because Annie has an ultimate. But yeah, they have a control ward, so I should just go back, basically. Another thing about Twitch, by the way, I didn't know this, but you can actually backport while being invisible. The way that it works, like, I'm serious, you can literally backport while being invisible. You have to click on your first ability. When you click on the first ability, if you pay close attention, it takes like a second. Look, you see, it takes like a second to become camouflaged. During that, oh, let's look at this first. Was a good engage, but I didn't ult. For some reason, I didn't ult. Actually, I decided to just not all in there. But yes, you can backport during that 1 second. This is actually an important moment. I'll talk about it later. So look at what I'm doing. I'm completely ignoring my team. Not doing anything. But look at this. Boom, boom, boom. This is the perfect engage. Look, 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 look. Look at that, man. That is what I talked about. I let the enemies engage on me. Pentakill, Penta, yes, Penta, no, that was not, that was my Penta, man. No, that's my Penta. Why did he take it? Oh, so sad. But yes, that fight right there was the perfect example of what I told you guys about. Let the enemies engage. You just chill. However, never use your ultimate without your first ability. Because right there, you could see, patience is key. I waited for my first ability. I got my first ability up. And then, you know, I used first ability, I ulted, and I just destroyed the enemy backline. I immediately engaged on their backline. Because remember, Twitch is much better at, AD Twitch is much better at engaging the enemy backline than the front line. Because like that right there was the absolute perfect engage. They had no chance in that team fight. And of course, when you get those resets, it's over because you can use your first ability then to, you know, to re-engage camouflaged. Even if you don't want to use the camouflage, just use your first ability. Yet again, I'm going to tell you for the last time, just to have the double stacks. Because the double stacks are so important for the reasons that I told you earlier. So what I was telling you is, you can backport while being invisible. During that 1 second that it takes to go into your first ability, you can backport home. And then, you know, it's going to backport you invisible to home. So the enemies won't see you while you're backporting. It's pretty crazy. So if you're trying to run away from the enemy in their own jungle and they can't see you for a brief moment, you can actually try to activate your first ability and backport while it's activating. And you're going to be backporting invisible. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to engage on them again. Look, I'm doing the same thing. I'm letting the enemies engage on my team. Look, look, I'm not even getting close. You see? I'm not even getting close. Any ADC, this would be a horrible play with. Because of course you want to be with your team, you know, when you're the ADC. But look at how I'm playing Twitch right here. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. Waiting for the perfect moment to engage. Because that is how Twitch works. It's all about the ultimate, the all-ins. Because there is a reason that your ultimate gives you a lot of bonus range. It gives you 250 range. It's because Twitch doesn't have a lot of range himself. So you need that ultimate. You need it. I want to tell you guys something to be careful of, however, with the ultimate. The ultimate is not a targeted basic attack. The ultimate is a projectile. Oh, let's take a look at this fight first. Look, ultimate here, boom, 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 just all the booms. But yes, what I'm telling you is, your ultimate will change your basic attack from a basic attack to a projectile. We're not gonna end here, by the way. The difference is, a basic attack is always gonna target the enemy. Like, you know, when you shoot it, it doesn't matter where the enemy goes, your basic attack will follow them. A projectile will just shoot forward. It won't follow the enemy. So if an enemy is very fast, like a Lilia for example, she can literally dodge your attacks. So like if a Lilia is walking in front of you like this and you're basic attacking her, you're not gonna hit her. You're gonna miss every single basic attack from your ultimate. And when the enemy is running away as well, if the enemy is running away and they're far away from you, you're also gonna miss every single shot. Because it's a projectile, it's not a base, it's not like a, I'm not sure what the other thing is called, not like a basic attack that actually goes to the enemy. It's a projectile, so be very careful of that. It can really int you. Like, sometimes it's gonna be better to just not ult, because if, like as I said, the Lilia example, if she's a little bit far away from you, she can dodge every single attack really easily, because she's so fast. Same story with Singed, by the way. So keep that in mind. Look at this, by the way. Yet again, I'm letting them engage on my team. I'm letting them. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, look at this. I mean, just look at this, guys. Just look at this. Quadra kill? He stole my kill again. This is the second pentakill that he took from me. But are you seeing what I'm talking about right here? Are you now starting to understand how to play this champion, guys? Look at this. I would have had the most legendary title. I mean, that would have been double pentakill Twitch. Boom, broken. Ooh, ah, you I'll still make it something good because I deserve those pentakills. I mean, that was just ridiculous. Oof. Let's take a look at how much damage I did. Let's just take a look. Just a small little look. Nothing else. Just a small little look. Let's see. 35,000 damage. Damn. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.